Hello everyone, I am the god of redstone. No, I am not. I am the god of opening and closing a door because everyone loved it when I open and close a door. That's how I got to 100 subscribers, and thank you everyone for getting me to 100 subscribers. So anyways, back to the video. We are not doing anything related to doors. We are doing technical Minecraft with keyboards and stuff. So let's go look at that right now. So this is the keyboard that I made, and it does not show every letter on the keyboard because of 7-second display, so I'll put a list up on the screen of all the letters it cannot show, and let's just do a demonstration. So we're going to type hi sir. It's not going to be one word, 2 words, hi, and then sir. So put an H, and then it will display an H. Then you put in an I, displays an I. Then we don't want to put an S there because then it would be one word, so it would be highs. We put in a space because of space bar. Then it will skip one and go to that using the little indicator that I put in, which is just a clock that goes on and off. So now it's on the other segment. We put in S, so S, which I will have to point out. The S is a 5. There is no way to display an S without making it a 5, so I just made it a 5. Then we put in I, and the last letter, which would be R. So we put in an R, which is lowercase r, and the indicator will go over there. Hi, sir. So there you go. Now, if you want to erase something, you just go over here and press the escape button, which will reset the system. So we just press that. Then you can see some stuff going down there. The indicator is moving along, and then this will slowly fade out. There we go. And the indicator will come back on. That's telling you that you can show numbers again. Now, one flaw of my number display that I made is that it only shows 2 digits. Here, you can show all the digits you want, going from 1 to 10. There are 10 digits here, which means 10 7-segment displays, and it all shows with numbers as well. So as you can see, I just typed in 30 minus 20 equals 0, and it will display all of that here. So now we'll see what this button over here does. Now this button here, you may recognize it because it is a play button. There's a play button here. What this play button means? It means subscribe. So you just hit the button, and you can just see it play out. So there you go, it showed subscribe from just hitting one button, because if you to type this all out, it will take way too long. So I just put it like this so it will display subscribe, and it works super well with this displaying subscribe. Might be a bit hard to see, I would say, but you can still make out the letters SUBSCRIBE, as you can see, and then the indicator saying, oh, you can still type here. We're just gonna add the little squiggly line on top, which is just gonna be one line. So there we go. And there is something about the last digit, is it doesn't relock, because then that would be going to the offside. So we just keep it unlocked, which means you can display all you want there, and it will not break it. So now we just hit reset, and then you can just see all of them fade away. So there you go, all of them faded away. With the indicator coming back on the first digit, which means you can just type again of what you want, and you can hit the subscribe button again. So now I've given you a demonstration of how this works. Now I'm just going to do a quick explanation of how it actually works, and I'm going to try to make this as short as possible without boring anyone, but it's complex. So first off, we're just going to start with the reset and the placeholder for all the keys. So this is the reset button, and how we do this is we have just a redstone line, which is like this. So that's on here, going into a block, which then goes through this line going that way. So if we just follow this line going over here, and over here you can see it comes to the stop. So what this is doing is double firing this piston, because when you fire this piston, it will unlock this, which will then take this back to 0. This piston will then fire over here, and it will start this clock, which has 19 items, and then you can see the redstone line goes over here, which it will be on the reset, which goes into this clock, which will slow down the tick speed, going over here, going down here, which is the reset. And this is just a manual reset that I added for testing. I forgot to break this, so just go break that. And it will go to the reset, which will just fire this about 11 times, even though there's 10 digits. Because if you were to take one item out, it will only fire this 9 times, but one more item, it's going to fire it 11 times. It's very weird from this clock, but that's how it works. And then I just told you earlier that this segment here, the 10th one, does not lock because of this redstone torch. It keeps this hopper from unlocking unless you do hit reset. Now if you checked out the green circuit, the reset circuit, we're going to check out the actual number display. This is a number display / 7 segment displays because it has 7 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can display almost every letter on here, but you can display every number on here, which is good for number displays, but kind of bad for letters display since you need 16 segment display to show all the letters. So back to our yellow circuit, which would be to show it. We first go from a key, so we're going to do this key, the screwy line key, this one, whatever that is. I don't know what it actually is called, but if we go down here, you can just see that it's going like that off of a repeater, and then it just goes into this mess of wires that I tried to keep organized, but kind of couldn't do that. There are 5 lines, and they're all basically 5 deep. Some of them go like 10 or 7. So just go follow the 7 lines. So we go down here. It goes down here, over here, into this 1 tick, which this is actually on 2 ticks, just in case the pulse is too short and it accidentally 1 ticks this piston. It will not do that because of 2 tick. So what we're doing is we're using rails here because they would be too laggy if it was redstone dust. Since I also have a texture pack that shows me the power of redstone dust, we used rails instead. So it's just going rails, observer, until it gets to the end here. Hits this, which is the green circuit, which will send this to the next letter. So when you do fire it, it goes all the way over here, undoes this redstone torch, and then this will change to here because it'll get moved. Then we have the actual number or the letter, so we have R here, and what we're doing is firing this observer into this block that goes into this hopper, goes to observer, which 1 ticks this piston. This will fire up. This observer will be like, hey, there's no more block here, which would then retract this block, which this is part of the reset circuit. So when it goes to the next line, this will turn on. Well, it will actually 1 tick this, and all of these will be grabbed and put here. If you do fire it, the letter or the number, it will also trigger this observer to retract this, and then this observer to retract this. And then you have alternating slime and honey, so it doesn't stick together. The slime or honey goes up. This block goes here, which then the observer will be like, hey, there's a new block here. Powers this block without powering anything here, which is the blue circuit. I'll get to that later. And it goes into this piston, fires a redstone block, and then we'll turn on our segment display. So I talked about this in my number display video, but this is a display made by Stormy. I will link his channel in the description and put it on screen, and then up here, he will get all the shoutouts that I can possibly give him. But goes through here with redstone torches going over to the 7-segment display, which powered the right displays to show from the 7 that are there because of 7-segment. So you need the left and middle. That's all you need to display the lowercase r. So you get bottom left and middle. And that's what we do for all of these, but they're not all r, so you can have bunch of complicated ones, but they're not too hard to follow. There are 32 different characters here that you can display. This is the indicator circuit showing you what letter you're actually on, or what digit you're actually on. So what it does is it's carrying a signal going up, and then it just fires the bottom one. And then over here, when this circuit locks, it retracts this, goes over here, and then when this circuit unlocks, it does that. It goes in reverse. Then these are instant repeaters, so everything's in sync here, and there's 3 instant repeaters. They just have a simple redstone torch clock here. Then we have this blue circuit here, which is to reset all the letters. So what it does is it takes the item from here when you do hit reset, sends a pulse going over here, up to this glass tower, going up here, which is just a long repeater trail. Since if you put redstone dust here or anything else, it will power from here. So we use repeaters. And over here there's instant repeaters as well, which makes it all in sync. Our red circuit is just to lock and unlock these. So when this is off or when this is on, the observer will get an update. It will fire this 1 tick. This repeater is on 2 ticks, so the block doesn't stay like that. And it will 1 tick all of these, which will then grab the block and move it over here. Then you go to the next one, which from how I set it up, these are all moved back because they're all locked. Now we have the last circuit, which is the pink circuit, which is the subscribe circuit. So what we have is a bunch of redstone dust on top of a bunch of observers, because iron pressure plates do not give a good pulse signal, so we have to use observers to get 15 power pulse. So we have this redstone line on top of a bunch of observers going to more redstone line, then a repeater going off of it into pulse extender. Then we have this fancy repeater thing. So this repeater gets power from this block, goes in this block. This redstone line is powering this block because you can see it's touching that. So that means this repeater can get power from this and give it into this block, which will then go into this line because it's on top of it. Then the line goes all the way down here, then just plays a sequence of each letter. So you just have the sequence that it needs to play for subscribe. You could probably make any sequence you want, but I just did subscribe for the most clickbaity title. That's the explanation of how all of this redstone works, and if you want to know more about the 7-segment displays, go check out Slimy's video on his channel that I will link in the description, because he gets all the shout out for these. I just modified it to hold 32 characters, and it's a very good display. Probably not the best for showing letters or numbers, but it still works as a 7-segment display. I hope you liked this video, like and subscribe if you did, and thank you everyone to getting me to 100 subscribers. I plan to get to 1,000 next year, and if I don't, I'll be very sad. But that is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!